Welcome back to Dinner and a Show on the Road. I am Brian. Today's been a really kind of crazy day when it comes to came to just watching Spider-Man: Homecoming today. I was going to go to the theater over where I am close to, but a real tragedy happened. Some gentleman that was in the showing before us, they were watching a different movie. He died of a heart attack, so they had to cancel the showing. It's just really sad that happened. So me and a friend, we went to a different showing over just a little south of us, and not too far away though. Anyway, got to see Spider-Man: Homecoming, and boy was it worth it. This has been a film that fans have been wanting to see for ages. They've wanted Spider-Man to join the MCU for ages. I mean, because I think at the time, it was the Amazing Spider-Man series that was going on, and some people liked it. It divided people, it divided fans. The Amazing Spider-Man 2, on the other hand, united a lot of people in that it just wasn't very much liked, or probably even the weakest of the Spider-Man movies in general, even worse than Spider-Man 3, and that is kind of hard to do. But anyway, so because Amazing Spider-Man 2 did not do well financially, Sony actually was willing to make a deal with Marvel Studios, the Disney version, and allow Spider-Man to be in their movies. They make all the money, of course, and I think even merchandise profits, while Marvel Studios gets creative control. So, really cool in how that happens. But yeah, so we got to see Spider-Man in Captain America: Civil War for the first time, and everyone really, really liked that performance, and I did too. So I thought it was amazing. One of the highlights of Captain America: Civil War, really. And so people were clamoring for the new Spider-Man movie coming out, and so now it's here, and it was really cool. I really enjoyed it. Tom Holland plays Spider-Man. Peter Parker, he wants to be an Avenger, but Tony Stark, played by Robert Downey Jr., who makes a pretty good appearance, actually. He thinks he's not ready yet, so he kind of prohibits him, from a lot of, from his full potential with the Spider-Man suit that he got and everything like that. And he's trying to balance being a superhero and the everyday life of high school. Homecoming's coming up. He likes a girl named Liz over there. She's a senior, and she's doing all of this homecoming stuff because the homecoming dance is coming up. He has a nerd friend named Ned, and they have a Lego Death Star. That's pretty funny. You also have some girl named Michelle, played by Zendaya. She's kind of not a loser of sorts, but she apparently doesn't have any friends. Anyway, so yeah, he's trying to do that, and explore the new suit that he had, and he stumbles across a couple of goons with some really high tech, and apparently this is high tech that was taken from all the damage that's been done, from the Avengers missions, and just kind of leftover stuff, and it's really just really dangerous alien technology. And he realized that these people are selling them just around the streets, and the ringleader is some guy in a Vulture mechanical suit. Well, everyone knows him as the Vulture. He's played by Michael Keaton. seems to be playing bird characters a lot. I'm sure I'm not the only one that has said that. So Spider-Man, Peter, tries to, stop him and prove to Stark that he's an Avenger, that he's Avenger material. All the while, just balancing high school stuff, academic decathlons, Spanish quizzes, detention, all this other stuff. So, anyway, so it was a really good movie, and I think what the biggest thing you can get out of it is that it's not really an origin story. We all know the story. It's happened twice already. The first one with Tobey Maguire and the second one with Andrew Garfield. Why do we need to do another origin story? So this one just totally just dismisses that. We're already down to, I got bitten, and we kind of have Ned sort of explaining that since he finds out that Peter's Spider-Man very early on in the film. So he, for those I guess that are for some reason haven't watched the other Spider-Man movies, he's kind of the guy that asks about his powers and everything like that. So he's kind of exposition, but in a very funny, comedic way, and it makes sense. Because he wants to know, he's like, this is the coolest thing ever. My best friend is Spider-Man. What are all his powers? So, it was totally cool. Ned's a really cool character. He says a lot of funny stuff. There's one saying at the end that just had me dying. And you have Zendaya, who plays Michelle. She's really cool. I mean, she doesn't really say a whole lot, but she, the stuff that she says, it's like one-liners. Your one-liners, deadpan, kind of like, oh gosh, is it Raven from Teen Titans? I think so. She kind of like that. Just doesn't care about other people vibe, and doesn't want to admit that she had that Ned and Peter are her friends. But it's pretty funny. She's great. And then you have Liz, and I forget her credit name, and I don't know Ned's credit name. Sorry, people. But Liz is good. She's smart. They go the route, where Peter wants to tell her that he's Spider-Man, but of course he can't because, it just puts her in danger. It's kind of ironic in the end, but, that's just how it is. And we've seen that Spider-Man trope before, and I think that's fine. Gets a little frustrating, especially when, like, other superheroes that Marvel Studios has done, they, their love interests know who they are, at least by the end of the film. They even do that in some DC shows with the Flash and Arrow and things like that. So, it's just kind of frustrating that they reverted, back to kind of the first Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire, where he just doesn't tell anybody. So anyway, that's just kind of it. And we all know that he, in the end, he doesn't go out with Liz. It's Gwen Stacy and Mary Jane. Dang it, the true ships. But Liz was a good character. She was just an unfortunate victim of circumstance. Just of things going on around her. But we grew to like her, and we definitely understood why Peter really likes Liz. And we sort of understand, I guess we sort of understand why Liz likes Peter. So, and Michael Keaton, my gosh, he's a threatening villain. There were two scenes in particular, and I really don't want to give it away, because it kind of spoils plot elements. But he's a very cunning person, and there are two scenes in general, back to back, that really make him threatening. and it was just really cool to see, and it built up tension, so I like that. And Peter his suit has a computer. I think the computer's name is Karen. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, it was a lot of good conversations. Computer's a lot smarter than you would think, but it was really just cool to see. Good conversation, good chemistry between her and Peter. And so yeah, those are pretty much all the characters. And I don't know if Flash in there is the future other character. I forget who Flash is going to be in the comics. I know that he's important, but anyway, he was a funny bully. More definitely not the traditional use of Flash. I mean, he's more of a nerd bully per se, rather than just kind of a jock bully. Yeah, Peter has a great arc. I love the route they went with his story. He wants to prove himself to Tony that he's Avenger material, that he can, just be as strong and as smart, and he's just as able to defeat bad guys like Captain America or Vision or anything like that. But just as we go along the film, we definitely side with Tony, because it reveals it in the trailer, so I don't think I'm giving it away. Tony is a lot wiser than when we first saw him in 2008. Very much so. And he wants to be a good mentor. I mean, not saying he's a perfect mentor to Peter, because he has gone a lot, but he tries his best, and he knows that Peter's not ready to be an Avenger. He wants Peter to be better than him, and I think that's what's key, and I think that was a key development for Tony's character as well. He doesn't want Peter to do the same things that he did, because Tony made a bunch of mistakes, a lot of bad mistakes from throughout the years. The editing was good, fast-paced. I loved the humor. I mean, this is a high school movie too. I mean, I liked the high school feel that it had. I mean, we see Peter struggling, just taking classes, gym class, detention, because he gets in trouble. The decathlon, he's smart. Yeah, it's a side of Peter that I'm not used to seeing. I'm used to, I mean, maybe in Spider-Man 2 they explored, he's sort of failing in his classes, or not doing as well as he should, getting distracted too much because, of the superhero persona. But yeah, they just emphasize that more. The opening credits for Spider-Man was actually pretty cool. They used the whole Spider-Man theme. The Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. So they used that a lot. That was really fun. If you grew up with that show, I mean, or even not, like, a bunch of Spider-Man fans will know what it is. You also, I think this is a Michael Giacchino score, and he's sort of a hit or miss for me. Loved his soundtrack for Up, and I'll even like his Star Trek soundtracks, especially the first one, pretty well. But a lot of it, even Lost. But a lot of them just sound too generic for me, or too borrowed. Kind of seems to be the go-to guy for franchises that already have famous scores, and he just comes in and like adapts those themes with his own, and it's okay. It's just not ideal. So music-wise, don't expect anything out of it. I preferred the Danny Elfman score for Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. Aunt May, she didn't have a lot to do, but I think a lot of people complain that, she's too young, too hot, or something like that. And you know what? She is a pretty good looking Aunt May, I'll say that. Because the others have always been old. But it makes sense. It makes sense to me, because, like, Aunt May is his aunt. Now, maybe they explain it in the comics why she's old, but in here it makes perfect sense that she looks like she could be his mom, because his mom would be the same age. Whether she is her mom's sister or his dad. Sorry, whether Aunt May is Peter's mom's sister or his dad's sister, I'm not sure. The comics will definitely give you that question, or give you that answer. But for now, it's just she just looks to me like the appropriate age for Peter. I think the actress is in her 50s. So yeah, it makes perfect sense. That would probably be around the age of someone that is in high school. So, and I really like how they incorporated a lot of just MCU plot elements to Spider-Man. They made Homecoming a sort of standalone movie. You definitely would need to have other films as it, just to kind of get a lot of references. Like, they have Chitauri technology in there from the first Avengers. You obviously need to watch Civil War, and just recognize a lot of other characters in there. At least the first Iron Man, because a couple of characters make some cameos from there. And please watch the end credits scene. It's so great. And there's a mid-credit scene too, so that's awesome as well. I think I've rambled on enough. This film gets a secret handshake. If I watch it again, I'll definitely, I'm gonna buy it. It's definitely worthy of buying. Great addition to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, while also being a good coming of age movie, and it holds its own. It's fun. Spider-Man is back, and we've been wanting this type of Spider-Man film for a long time, and Sony and Marvel have finally worked together to create something for this. And I really hope that Fox and Marvel Studios can get along, because like Fantastic Four, it's like, come on, let that go. Give that to Marvel. Let Marvel do something with it that's great. You guys have made trash with it. You guys are fine with X-Men and Deadpool. Just give them Fantastic Four, because Logan was freaking awesome. Okay. I think I'm done. Go watch Spider-Man. It's great. And that's it. I'm Brian, and I will see you at the movies.